And now it is time to welcome our first guest today in a segment we call Dog Mom Biz. Coleen Ellis owns the Two Hearts Pet Loss Center, and she works with the International Association for Animal Hospice and Palliative Care. It's an organization that's focused on giving the best care to our pets as they get closer to death. Now, Coleen is dedicated to creating the perfect ending for your pet and helping owners to deal with the different elements of grief. And it's really a journey. So Coleen, we thank you so much for being here with us today to talk about this very important topic.
Yeah, you know, I'm listening to all your stories and I thought, gosh, I've got the hard one. I've got the one we don't like to think about, but it's going to happen to all of us dog moms. And so we have to think about it.
We have to think about it and prepare our hearts and give our dog the best possible experience. So as we celebrate their legacy, we can feel good about the love that we've poured into them.
Exactly. You know, and the thing we hear from our loving pet parents is they want to make sure they did everything. Yes. And many times as we get to the end, we're done with cure and now we want to go to care, and we want to create that ending that leaves us without regrets, leaves us with to help minimize the guilt. And so we can truly say, we helped with a perfect ending, and we kept them in such a way that the quality of life for them was peaceful, was good. And as we get our hearts ready to say goodbye, just like you said, and there's so many things that we can do for that for that peaceful ending.
Yes. And you know, Coleen, a lot of times hard things that we walk through help us to have more compassion when we're walking through pain and suffering with others. And I know you had a beloved pet that you lost and serves as inspiration for you every day. Can you tell us about that experience for you?
I can, and it's really interesting we're having this conversation today because it was 23 years ago today that she died. And 22 years ago that she died. And boy, it was the thing that started me on the journey. I wear a necklace that has her paw print on it. And just reminds me every day of the why of what I do. In a big way for the International Association for Animal Hospice and Palliative Care, because I wish I would have maybe had some different information to give me at the end with her to create a different ending. But you know the comment, when we know more, we do better. And that's hopefully what we can do with the work that you guys are doing as well. We educate people, especially with what I'm here to talk about, that one thing that's going to happen to all of us. And so we can do what we need to do, not only for them, but for us.
There you go. And that education, that information brings confidence when we really need it, when we feel like we're preparing for one of the hardest things that we could possibly go through. So when you said goodbye to Miko, how did that help you to transition into your current field? I know that again served as inspiration for you, but walk us through that transition for you and how you got there.
You know, it was a really very easy transition because I was in the human death care world at that point. And so for me and for all gosh, we call ourselves dog moms, right?
Yes.
It's very much humanizing the process.
Yes.
And so as I looked at the next journey of what I wanted to do and the creation of not only that pet funeral home, but to also then step up and to help with the work that we do with the IAAHPC, it was an easy transition because the question I asked myself was, what do we do for people?
Right.
Because I want to do that for them. I want to do that for her. We want to do that for all the Mikos of the world, and every one of them that sits in our heart that still is the one that kind of kicks us in the belly a little bit. And so we want to do what we can do in the same way to mimic what we would do for a human loved one. I want to do that.
There you go. I mean, the planning, the preparation, preparing our hearts when we say goodbye. I know that you run Two Hearts Pet Loss Center. So can you tell us about the services you provide? Just get specific for us and practical.
Yes, exactly. So Two Hearts is really an educational forum. And so I do a lot of public speaking. I just last year had 2 books come out that I co-wrote with a veterinarian colleague, Dr. Mary Gardner. And so we had 2 books come out for children in pet loss, one with doggy, one with kitty. And so I do a lot of writing, a lot of blogging, a lot of speaking, and a lot of educating. And so that takes me all over. In fact, it takes me all over the world, quite frankly. And just doing what I can do to carry that flag and to every day serve my mission, which is to help people with one of the most difficult things that we have in loving a precious dog, a precious animal.
Well, and it's such an incredible and important cause. It really is. I know that you're also involved with the International Association for Animal Hospice and Palliative Care, the IAAHPC, that is. So tell me about maybe how you got involved with the organization and the heart of the organization for everyone watching, because we can go on and learn more, and we're doing this together right now.
Exactly. So I happened to be on the ground floor of helping to start this association. Back in 2009, 2010, we had our first conference in 2011. And Karina, we went from 0 members to today we have 2,050. And
Wow.
our membership is made up of professionals, because while we are mainly veterinarians, we also have vet techs and then a whole lot of other people that make up that support circle. And all of us are dedicated to anything and everything that comes to end of life for our pets. And we've got it for the IAAHPC, we've got educational events, we've got webinars, we've got resources, we've got our conference coming up. We are laser sharp focused on palliative, pain management, anything end of life as it comes to the day of saying goodbye, and even that support afterwards. Every part of end of life, that's what the IAAHPC does.
And that training is incredibly important, because bedside manner and care makes all the difference for the animal and for, the families and people that you're serving. I mean, I know I personally have been touched by just the loving kindness of a vet who walked me through the loss of a beloved animal, my Ella Fitzgerald Sullivan, but I mean, it's just so hard when you're doing that, but that compassion goes so far. So getting out ahead of it and anticipating how to deal with loss and grief with different families, different pets, and different situations. It's important.
And Karina, just because we prepare for it doesn't mean it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that it's going to start happening immediately. I think some of that's our fear that says, heaven forbid, if I go out and start to research what my options are, then I'm going to make it happen. And you know what? I get it. I'm as fearful as the next person about the loss of my precious loves. And I'll admit they're old, but boy, when it comes to admit they're dying, I'm going to push back with the next person. But that fear of the unknown that says, and the anxiousness that comes with that, to not be prepared on that day for the one thing that's going to happen to all of us. It is a for sure 100%. And to stand tall, as I tell people, pull yourself up out of the emotion for just a minute, and go look and see, what are the questions you need to ask? Who do you need to pull in to support you? And when we can move that final day, if we're helping them and to take them out of pain, if we can move that final event from an event to an experience. Imagine the day when the veterinarian shows up at your home and there are flowers and there's music and there's soft candlelight and he's laying in all of his toys. I mean, imagine what you can't unsee for the rest of your life, that your precious Ella had the perfect ending, because she was right there with her toys and her people, and she was eating chicken McNuggets as she made her way out of this world and out of pain. Imagine that, Karina.
That's beautiful. I mean, the importance of doing that and anticipating that, like you said. What is the greatest piece of advice that you have for the dog moms watching today? I know that you've been in touch with so many different stories and, you're living it firsthand. So what is the greatest piece of advice that you can offer for everyone watching with us today?
I'm going to actually give you 2.
Okay,
First one is, as you start to see that day coming, prepare for it. Reach out, ask questions, go to our website. And when you send an email up through there, it's going to come to me. So you already know the face that's answering it. So send us a message and say, who's in my area that can help me? And then the second thing I want to give you is, and all of our listeners here, is I want to give you the permission to do what you need to do when that end comes. The permission to grieve, the permission to mourn, the permission for rituals, the permission to do everything that you need to do to have a peaceful and memorable goodbye that works for you. Permission for that.
That's great. Do you have any advice for dog moms with children? You know, I mean, children feel it just like we do. Do you have any advice for them?
You know what? Children are they're actually perfect when it comes to the grief journey. And the advice I have for our dog moms out there who have children is let them be involved. Don't feel like you're protecting them by keeping them out of the process. Let them say goodbye. Let them have their time to do a service. Let them be there if they want to be there. If we hide it and we shun away from it, then they're going to believe it's something to be feared or something that shouldn't be talked about. And so let's talk about it. Let's let them ask questions, and let's let them guide us and lead us in what they need. But let's do it together. Let's do it as a family, and let them see us cry. Let them know that we're hurting too, because that's big. Don't believe we're all going to get through this and not have some emotion. That little creature rocked our world in this house, and he's going to rock our world on the way out. And
that's so true. And when we suppress those feelings, they still live in us. So if we can safely talk about how we feel, that just helps with the grief journey so much, as you said. Now, I know too, Coleen, that you help to make final arrangements for funerals for families and their pets. So what are some of the things that families need to keep in mind when they're dealing with these difficult matters? Or, you know, from your standpoint, what should we be planning in advance?
It goes back to what I just said a minute ago. Do your research. You know, find the people who are going to help you, from the veterinarian to the support team that will be there to guide you, to whoever's going to assist you with the final arrangements, from the crematory to the cemetery. And my recommendation on that is go find the organizations who are going to walk with you and are going to treat your dog in the manner that you want your dog treated. Ask the questions. That's how you eliminate some of the, I wonder if. Well, don't wonder. Go ask.
There you go. Good point. I imagine too.
Should be no wondering. Ain't no reason to wonder.
There you go. Ain't no reason to wonder. And I imagine too, considering your worldview, should you have a service? Should you not? I mean, these again are just things that we really need to be thoughtful about before the grief, before the sadness and loss.
That's exactly right. And you know, the other one I'm going to give you too, our world seems to like to move fast. And when it comes to this subject, and even the day of, I always tell people, slow down a little bit. Slow down. Let your heart back up and say hello as you prepare to say goodbye. I keep my animals home for 2 days after they die. It gives me the chance to have a visitation, a wake, to let the other animals say their goodbye. Whoever needs to say their goodbye. We believe we need to move quickly. You don't. You don't. Back up a little bit and slow down and let your heart get ready to not have that physical presence in your house. Take some time.
Oh, that's fantastic advice. Don't rush it. Don't force it. Feel it. Feel it.
Yes.
Coleen, how can people stay informed on what you're up to and what's going on?
Listen, I am such a huge advocate for the IAAHPC. I want you to come there. I want you to sign up to get our newsletters. I want you to come in and look at our resources. We have a whole pet parent page that is just absolutely touching as you read the memorials. There's resources there, and it's www.IAAHPC, you've got it right there, .org. Come there. We're full of resources.
Coleen Ellis, thank you so much for your time today, for just sharing your heart and your wisdom with us. We have learned so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching this Dog Mom News clip. Do us a favor, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more informative and awesome Dog Mom News content. And be sure to click that notification bell too to stay up to date with all our new content in real time. You'll also want to be sure to join us for our live stream each Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you soon.